So we just got the news that the military budget is increasing yet again. So the Hill says, the Senate Armed Services Committee has approved a $778 billion defense policy bill, adding nearly $25 billion more to the defense budget than the Biden administration requested. Wow. The funding boost would go entirely to the Pentagon, giving the department $740.3 billion compared to the Biden administration's request for $715 billion. The remainder of the budget goes to non-Pentagon defense programs, such as the Energy Department's nuclear weapons program. The increase was approved as a Republican-proposed amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that received bipartisan support when the committee met behind closed doors to consider the bill Wednesday night. So, let me give you, this is the most infuriating part, okay? The vote was 23-3. 23-3. Senate Armed Services Committee, bipartisan, said more money to the military budget. Now, this is going on at the same time that everybody's bitching and moaning and whining about the reconciliation bill. How are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that? Well, yeah, but pay. What is it, infrastructure? Well, you know what? You got to pay for every penny of it. Every penny of it. They added $25 billion to this. Did anybody say a fucking word about how we're going to pay for that? Did anybody say a word about how we're going to pay for the over $700 billion in total spending on the military budget? Nobody ever says anything about paying for it when it comes to the military. They just go, let's spend on it. Nobody, Democrat or Republican, is like, I don't know, can we afford it? We got to pinch our pennies. Defense is totally exempt from anybody saying, how do we pay for that? But infrastructure is, oh my God, how do we pay? Jeez. Bridges are crumbling and our infrastructure is terrible. But we definitely can't just fix it. We definitely can't just do it. It has to be paid for every penny. But this, nobody says anything, and it's a 23-3 vote. The game is rigged, guys. The game is rigged. Any sort of Wall Street bailout, any military spending, any stuff that they genuinely prioritize because they're corrupt and bought, they're like, just spend on it. When it's anything for regular people, immediately they're like, we got to pay for every penny of it, and if we can't, then we're not doing it. And they usually end up not doing it. By the way, you know what their progressive position is on this budget? You're going to love this. It's cutting it 10%. 10%. They want to cut it 10%. We spend more than the next, 10, 11, 12 biggest militaries combined, and most of them are our allies, and the progressive position is cut at 10%. So the Democratic position, the corporate Democratic position is increase it a little bit, maybe to keep up with inflation or maybe just under that. The Republican position is give all of our money to the military. And the progressives say cut it 10%. I don't know why the progressive position isn't to cut it 40 or 50%. That should be the progressive position. But they're not arguing for that. And the Overton window is skewed way to the right. And here we are. Here we are. I mean, this is absolutely infuriating. 23-3. $25 billion extra. By the way, the Republicans are praising this. More than what Biden asked for. I think the same thing happened under Trump. Whatever Trump asked for, they kicked it up. Final point is this, and I need everybody to really think about this. At the same time that we are drawing down in Afghanistan, even if Biden ends up staying there for, bombing from the sky, or stays there in the sense that they have some boots on the ground to train the Afghanistan military. Even if he does that, which he probably will, you're still massively reducing the cost because we pulled out of Bagram Air Force Base. You're still having thousands of people pull out either way, right? At the same time, we are drawing down in Afghanistan. We're increasing the military budget $25 billion, spending $778 billion on defense. How do you end a war but then increase the military spending? That makes no sense. It only makes sense in the context of the military-industrial complex, because really, this is to have jobs in the warfare industry in a bunch of different states around the country. And of course, the reason why it's endless spending is because the military-industrial complex, the defense corporations, Boeing, Honeywell, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they give money to the politicians when they run for election, so it's I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and it's just sheer corruption. But here we are, $25 billion more. And I genuinely think Democrats are dumb enough to think, like, if we were to actually cut it, we would be clonked over the head with ads in the midterms saying we're soft on defense or whatever. And if, to the extent that any of them really believe that, they're incredibly dumb. Even if they were hit with that, the one issue that Biden's approval rating is staying high on is Afghanistan. 55% support what he's doing on Afghanistan, even though the media is attacking Biden relentlessly on that. Why? Because people want to end the fucking wars. So it stands to reason people want to reduce the military budget and probably put that shit into infrastructure. But no. They don't really believe in reducing the military budget, but even if they did, they would be too scared, thinking it's politically not savvy, the Democrats. And we don't even get me started on the Republicans. They're beyond ridiculous. They want to give all the money to the military and just bomb everywhere and pretend like that makes them smart and tough, even though it makes them the dumbest fucking people and the most corrupt people on the planet. So there you have it, man. $25 billion more. Will there ever be a time, ever, where they just flat out cut the budget? If they're not even cutting it when we're ending wars, when are they ever going to cut it? Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.